What is going on, guys? Deep Duck Trouble for the Sega Master System. No Death Run. Thank you for visiting the channel. We're doing Valley first. This game gives you an option of playing 4 levels. You can choose. I'm choosing Valley first for a particular reason. Not the first stage here, but the second stage is one of the hardest spots in the whole game. So it's kind of nice that you can choose it and get it out of the way. So here's a game I've kind of put off for the past 2 years. As a kid, I owned Lucky Dime Caper, this is the sequel to Lucky Dime Caper on the Game Gear or Master System. And I still need to beat the Lucky Dime Caper, but something told me to play this game. I had a feeling because it's newer that it might play better and just be an overall more polished game. And well, I think that might be the case. This is one of the best looking 8-bit games I've ever seen. Honestly, it's really crazy. The incredibly good use of color and incredible sprite work. Just everything's very detailed here. This can pass as a 16-bit game. Like, it's really impressive. Like, outside of maybe Little Samson, and I don't think Little Samson looks as good as this game. This game looks incredible. Some of the later stages, the detail in the background, it's literally, it could pass as a 16-bit game. A little bit short, a little bit easy. Definitely some tricky spots. Here, in the Ice Caverns, is a horrible little level. So, yeah, this is why I came to the Ice Caverns first, to get it over with. Some tricky, frustrating, annoying platforming for sure. Now, I do want to talk about this game with the GamePro Magazine review for very particular reasons, because its amazing graphics does create some slowdown and does, as you can see me jumping right there. Watch me kick this ice block. Because of everything on screen there with the falling ice, the monster yourself, the moving block, everything kind of came to a screeching halt there. And I think that's because the graphics are so incredibly good for an 8-bit console that it's pushing it to the absolute limit. Now, the graphics, no question, are a 5 out of 5. I'm on the hunt now to find a better looking game on 8-bit. Whether it's Nintendo or Master System, I'm on the search now. What is the best looking game for the 8-bit generation? And this game is definitely getting a nomination on my part. Like I said, the more you watch this game, more of the levels you see, the more you'll totally see what I'm talking about. This game is brilliant. 5 out of 5 for graphics, no question. But this brings me to the controls. Controls are impaired a little bit. They are less than perfect. They are less than good. Now, they're good enough that they don't ruin the game because they are slow. They are sluggish, and they definitely feel a little unresponsive and a little delayed. They're definitely not a 2.5 out of 5, but they are a 3, and that's the best I could possibly give the controls. It's debatable that some other people might play this game and be like, oh, it's slow and sloppy, and I do think they're 2.5 out of 5. I wouldn't argue with them. I would totally see where they're coming from. But I still think they're fairly okay and definitely don't ruin the game. But they're only a 3 out of 5. They're definitely sluggish. The music's also not very great in this game. It's fine, but it's just like the controls. They're pretty mediocre. 3 out of 5 as well for the sound. The sound effects are quite nice, but the music is just, it's forgettable. Very forgettable. The boss music's jingle is kind of fun. But outside of that, there's nothing that really stands out to me. Its fun factor is excellent though. It's not outstanding, but I had a really good time with this game. And yeah, I definitely revisit it. It's a really fun game. Great level design, which adds to why it's so fun. Creative level design. The way you kick things is a fun little gaming mechanic that I really enjoyed. This is just a good little game. 4 out of 5 for fun factor. And here's another reason I like the fun factor. The bosses in this game, outside of the final boss, are very original. They're these little run chase sequences, and actually the controls are greatly improved for these. Because you're now doing an auto-scrolling level, as you can see, Donald can instantly jump further. Everything runs a lot faster and a lot smoother. And again, look at the detail on that bird. That's a great looking bird, man. Like those clouds, everything here looks like an average 16-bit game, which is an excellent looking 8-bit game. Like, this game looks phenomenal. I can't get over it. But these bosses are really fresh, really fun. You know, when every game's always doing boss patterns and boss battles, it gets a little uncreative. So I like that they tried something different here. And to stick to what's original and what works, the final boss is your typical boss fight with boss patterns, and he's hard. He's tricky and has annoying RNG. But these first 4 bosses, boss chase sequences, is really fun. And the music's kind of enjoyable as well. So there we go. The ice caverns are complete. We got the feather. So this game has kind of a cool story. Scrooge McDuck went on an adventure. He touched some cursed treasure, which swelled him up and turned him into a balloon. He knows that if you take these 4 particular items and put them in the middle of this lake, you'll unlock this shire, this castle, where you can go to this statue and lift the curse. So Donald's on that quest. We got one of the items. We are now entering the volcano to get the next item. Those bats are the exact same sprite as Quackshot, and Castle of Illusion for the Genesis, which just goes to show that it is using and recycling a sprite from a 16-bit game. It's able to look just as good and run just as well. That's impressive. Those bats right there, they're good-looking bats. I'm pretty sure they're spot-on identical sprite swaps from Quackshot. The way Donald gets hit in this game is the death animation for Donald in Quackshot. He kind of puffs up and goes sideways. So again, because I'm capturing with a fucking phone, it doesn't look as good as it does when you actually play it yourself. So watch a real playthrough with real capture card, or just play it for yourself and you'll see just how bright and colorful and how well detailed everything looks in this game. It's really, I'm really blown away by it. It is the best 8-bit looking game I've ever seen. Makes me wonder, I don't know what I'm going to play next. I'm kind of on a Disney theme. I think it was Omega Ace Gaming once said I'm kind of the Disney guy. I don't know if I'm the Disney guy, but I do love Disney games. I don't know what it is. I think because they're done well. A lot of the Disney games back in the day were done quite well. Whether they were Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mania, World of Illusion, fucking Mickey's Magical Quest, Lucky Dime Caper, this, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Pinocchio. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of really good quality games by Disney back in the day. So maybe Lucky Dime Caper, maybe DuckTales. I'm looking to dive into the DuckTales games. I never played those for NES. We got 2 of them. So that's really cool. I also haven't beat the first Rescue Rangers. I spoke about that in my Tailspin NDR. So it's like I kind of maybe want to do that. I might want to revisit the second Rescue Rangers because I really like that game. And it might be fun to do a no death run there. But I've been on a big kick of beating new games. So I've already beat Rescue Rangers 2, so that wouldn't add a whole new game to my list. Because I have been really enjoying just beating a new game, moving on, beating a new game, moving on. Now, I love to revisit games, but I've been totally enjoying just beating new games. You know, just kind of getting through the bucket list of games from the early 90s. You know, whether it's NES, Master System, Genesis, or Super. Magical Quest is another one that I have not played or beaten as well, and I hear it's really hard. So it might just be fun to play and beat that game as well. And it has fantastic graphics for the Super Nintendo. Really nice looking game. So as you hear the music here again, like I'm talking, like it's fun. Makes you want to snap your fingers a little bit, but it's nothing too outstanding. But you know, it does its job. It's good, right? But you know, that was my one takeaway from this game. though its graphics were phenomenal, its controls and sound are definitely on the average department. Free man up there if you're looking to get free men. Now, a lot of the times when I do NDRs, I'm never in a big rush. I like to grab some of the extra free men just to show them where they are, but I didn't felt it necessary this time. There's one. I grabbed one free man throughout the whole game, so... This part can be tricky. You can get yourself stuck, and if you don't land on that thing precisely, you'll come up, get crushed, hit by the lava, and you get fucked over quick there. Now, I also did the volcano second because it's the second hardest of the first 4 opening stages. Do the hardest one first, second hardest one, so on and so forth. The water stage coming up soon is really, really, really fun in this game. Decided if I got nothing to say, I'm just gonna let the game play. So another boss sequence, that's what I call them. Boss chase. In this case, the boss is nothing more than running down a volcano and being chased by, you know, explosive rocks. It works. I forget what the item is, though. You know, like with the bird, you get a feather. There's a gorilla. You grab his necklace. There's a shark. Shark looks awesome, by the way. You catch like one of his teeth, if you will. But what is it here? Oh, what's that? Just a gem? I don't think it really matters. You gotta get it. You gotta put it in the lake with the other items. What did he get? I don't know. He got some treasure. Get some treasure from the volcano. So I move over to the jungle next. So you can see the little world map there. It shows the 2 completed levels, and we're going to the jungle to face the gorilla. Probably the easiest. This or the water stage are definitely easy. So now it's like the hard part's out of the way, no joke. Like the ice level's fucking frustrating. The volcano's not too bad, but it can get you. There's a couple spots there where you can take 3 hits. One thing I like about this game is that in Castle of Illusion and Land of Illusion for Master System, you can increase your life bar by finding these hidden stars, which will make the NDR that much easier. Even though Land of Illusion's a harder NDR, even with the extra hit points, it still gives you a lot to work with when you can get up to 5. This game remains 3 the entire time, so a couple fuck-ups and you get to some tough spots, you're going to be taking 2 hits really quickly, and you're going to be dying pretty quickly as well. Like any game, it's got its pit deaths, especially later on. Plenty. Big, huge ostrich sprites there that just passed. They look great. But yeah, I like that this game doesn't give you any extra hit points. Not that I know of. Oh yeah, Donald goes into a nice little fight animation there. Animation. Yeah, when he takes a hit, you lose control for a second while he just goes and like puts his dukes up. It has the chili peppers, like in Quackshot. In Quackshot, there's 3 particular spots in the game. You got to eat about 6 chili peppers in Quackshot for him to tweak out. Here, it's just one chili pepper, and he's tweaking, and he can just kind of run super fast. And he's like charges through enemies, so he's just invincible for that short time frame, and he can run through blocks. Level design in this game is kind of irritating. Oh, sorry, in this level. You got to climb the trees to traverse over some pits. And there's one spot I just say fuck it, and I just take the hits. It's like here you got to be really careful. There's a pit below. And making the jump is harder than it should be. But that one's not is not hard. It's the next spot where I fall, of course. And luckily there's just spikes below that aren't insta-kill spikes. But yeah, it's like getting to this green one is okay. But then once it moves down, I just rushed it. If I would have just popped up again, I would have made the jump. But so I just said, I'm like, fuck it. Just, who cares? This level's easy. Now, I did put myself at a chance of dying. 1 hit. I think I get an ice cream here worth 1 point. Then I take 1 hit in the gorilla boss stage. But again, you fuck up a little too much here. You know, you take 2 hits, yeah, fuck, reset, right? So that's kind of the frustration with NDRs. But I got this one pretty easily, I won't lie. There's just, honestly, 5, 6, 7 resets on the ice level. Once I got through the ice level, I fucked up once on the volcano. And then once I got through the ice level and the volcano, it was this run here. So, you know, I resetted like, you know, 6 to 7 times due to the ice stage and 1 volcano death. But outside of that, it was smooth sailing. And I wasn't sure because the final stage is pretty damn tough. But I was kind of like, all right, Steve, you just did all that. Let's not do it again, you know? Like, because the ice stage, it got the best of me a little bit, you know? Because it's a slow-paced game. You know, outside of these running sequences that speed it up a little bit, which is really nice and refreshing, it's a slow-paced game. So slow-paced NDRs can be very tedious and not the most fun to do. When you're playing a slow-paced game, it's really frustrating to reset and start over. Unlike fast-paced games where you just don't really feel that annoyed because the game plays fast. And it's like, hey, this is really fun because it's speedy. Now, this is fun for different reasons because it's more of an adventure and the level design's creative and fun. But it's slow paced, so it definitely, when you get, say, if I died here, to have to do the ice level over, the volcano level over, and this whole jungle level over is kind of like, well, how am I at? Well, 16 minutes into the game, it's like, come on.
Oh, down to 1 hit there.
Yeah, I could have fucked it up, but I didn't. So we grabbed the gorilla's necklace. We got 3 of the 4 items required. I wish I could do it. I was about to do a Mickey Mouse impersonation. Oh boy, I can't do Donald Duck. Yeah, my brother-in-law can actually do Donald Duck's voice, which I always found super impressive because how do you squawk and quack like that? So the underwater level, the first part here is gonna look pretty shitty because it's dark. And we all know how my phone captures dark screens. Not very well. But once you move on to the next level, it is like the same boat from Land of Illusion. It looks brilliant, looks great as the camera slowly focuses and captures a little better. I always hate this. It's like low-key embarrassment. I don't know. I don't use computers. I've never had a computer, so like my laptop, I never use it. It's like it was given to me, no word of a lie. I've never had a computer. Like there you go. Interesting fact about Alpha Nerd. Always a gamer. Lock and load. Nintendo, Genesis, PS1, Dreamcast, GameCube, PS3, PS4. Never had a computer. My ex had a computer. I used it once in a while. My buddies had computers growing up. I'd use theirs once in a while, especially to play Diablo and Diablo 2. But outside of that, I've never owned a computer. Literally, I have this shitty laptop now. I only use it to get ROMs. That's it. Occasionally, I'll watch some movies if I can't find it on Netflix or something. Other than that, I swear to God, I can go weeks without popping that thing on. And I plug it to my TV too because I broke it not long ago. Because back when I used to stream, I would just use the webcam, and hey, y'all remember that. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it was watchable, right? And it captured pretty good too, surprisingly, because the low light webcam did pretty good with dark colors. So cell phone, it has a better quality camera, so it takes on light in a different way, and it doesn't work out so good when it comes to dark backgrounds. But anyways, one day I'll get that capture card.
Stupid turtle.
Maybe when I reach 100 NDRs. Yeah. And I don't even want to reach 100 NDRs. I want to get to 75 individual games, which will end up being like 82 NDRs. But yeah, when I reach 75 individual NDRs of 75 games, I think I'm probably done with no death runs. Any that would come after that would be due to speed running. But again, it's also, I'm not huge on streaming. So that's another reason I'm not like gung-ho to just go get some new computer. So it's like, I've gone my whole life never having a computer, never needing a computer. Like, honestly, like I don't know, like, who's using computers? What for? I don't know. It's like, I feel like Quagmire. I thought computers were for losers. If you remember that episode, and then he discovers, you know, what he discovers. Pretty funny stuff. So here, this boat looks awesome. It literally looks like the same boat from World of Illusion. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as World of Illusion, but it looks incredibly good. Like, every piece of wood in the background there has a really sharp detail. And one thing I will say about Nintendo games, blocky. Even when they look fantastic, it's like every game felt the need to follow what Mario 1 did. And they use, like Castlevania as well. Castlevania, why are there so many blocks? Like, I don't get that. Like, everything's blocks, individual squares, just like Mario 1. It was like, why weren't those blended in together and shaped like actual bricks? I feel like that was a mistake with a lot of Nintendo games, because they were just like trying to recreate the look of Mario 1. But Mario 1 was just primitive, and that was just how they designed it. You might realize when Mario 3 came out, and even Mario 2, they didn't do that anymore. Everything wasn't just blocks. Yeah, there was POW blocks, but not every single piece of land was made up of individual blocks. Go play Castlevania. Great game. Castlevania 3, fantastic. Known for its graphics, still blocky as fuck. It's like the whole level is just made up of blocks. That's terrible in my opinion. You might notice when they reached 16-bit, they totally stopped doing that because somebody had the sense to acknowledge that. And I like that this game doesn't do that. All those wooden panels in that screen previous were individual wooden panels. Different shapes, different textures. They weren't just squares stacked side by side. I hate that shit. It's like, come on, that was a Mario 1 thing. That doesn't need to be an every game thing. And boy, it became a common trend on Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is clearly the better console, let's be real. But, you know, the Master System is no slouch. It's not this crappy system that people seem to think it is. And some people might think, oh, well, I don't really think I'd like a Donald Duck game. Y'all love DuckTales. What's the difference? They're Disney games. They're good. So some people are way too hard on the Master System because they don't want to give it a chance. They don't want to dive through its library and discover some of the great games that make it awesome. Like this, and Aladdin, and many others. Many others. Again, Nintendo is clearly the better console. But the Master System is no slouch. And as we catch that shark, who looks brilliant, by the way, apparently we grab his whole rack of teeth. I feel bad here. Apparently we only needed one tooth. You'll see this in a second. There it is, one tooth. There it is at the bottom again. One tooth, one shark tooth. So why did we rip out his entire mouth? How is he going to feed himself? Like Donald, do you not care? He's now like the Bumble from Rudolph. He's going to be swimming around, what, inhaling fish? He's going to have a poor diet, he's going to lose a lot of weight, and he's going to have a slow, painful death. Way to go, Donald Duck. We got all 4 items. We put him in the lake. We unlock the castle that they call a Shire. I guess we're now in Lord of the Rings world. For what is a beautiful and challenging world. The first level here isn't that difficult, but the next stage is quite fucking hard. Pit deaths. This is what this is all about now. Avoid the pit deaths. Though also a lot of obstacles that can lead to 3 quick hits as well. There's multiple ways to burn through that man in this world. I can never get by that 3rd crab. It's like they give you an ice cream cone now because they just know. It's like, I don't know, you'll never get by that crab. They'll just, every time I get hit by it, it's annoying. But yeah, look at these bricks. Look at those bricks in the background. You have 3 different sizes with different colored dots in 3 of them. It's just a variety of mixed. That is art. That is how you blend shapes and colors. Not all the same size square. Just, that's so terrible. And again, now the foreground has other bricks stacked like actual bricks. That's proper. The lower bricks, again, have more design and detail, while the water also has darker brick texture. It looks incredible. This does not look like an 8-bit game. This is really, really fucking impressive. It is. Like, this is 1993. Programmers fully understood what they could do with the Master System and how to showcase its capabilities. You look at a Master System game from like 87 and compare it to this, it is night and day. It is night and day. They look like 2 different consoles. And that can be said for a lot of systems. That can be said for the NES. That can be said for the Sega Genesis. But I've never seen such a glaring big change between start and finish like the Master System, really. Because some of those games, like the Ninja and even Shinobi, look very primitive, play very primitive, and look very cheap. Then you got something like this that looks like it's straight out of the 16-bit generation. Tough spot. Don't use any D-pad inputs here. Just use the hop button. When sliding down those spots, because you'll take 2 hits really quickly, and then maybe catch a 3rd one, no problem. It's an easy spot to die. So when he's sliding, you allow the game's momentum to propel you, so you just jump. Little pro tip for that spot. So we're getting close to the end of the game here. I believe we have now completed the first level of the Shire. And it's the next one that's a real pain in the ass. But harder than any of that is the end boss. The end boss in this game is tricky. He's tricky and difficult like the end bosses in Land of Illusion. You know, we're talking about fairly easy games, but they pose their challenge. I've always noticed that and been fascinated by games that are hard, but are easy no death runs, and games that are easy, but can be challenging NDRs. I always find that a bit of a conundrum, or I'm perplexed by it, because it doesn't make any sense. How can a game that's hard be an easier NDR than a game that's easy, but harder to NDR? It's like some games have found a way of being super easy to complete on 2, 3, 4 men, or using continues, but doing it on 1 life is somehow tough. And this game would fall into that category, absolutely. Though the game is quite easy, the end boss is a tricky fucking bitch, and it almost gets me. And I start off the first phase perfect. This part's pretty cool. I like this part. This jump coming up, a little bit tricky. So you kick the block here onto the arrow, but here you kind of want to preemptively jump. As soon as it becomes level, it starts moving kind of quick, and you can miss it. And you know, slightly off time there, you're going in the hole. So I just learned after a death or 2 there that, hey, jump a little bit ahead of time. This part was annoying the first time I got here. It was really easy to take hits here. But yeah, just do what I'm doing there and you'll be A-okay. Again, beautiful looking level. The final level looks the best in my opinion as well. This part's gonna look kind of shit because, you know, it goes dark. Interesting concept too. When the light goes on, everything disappears, even the ball and chains. So are those ghost ball and chains? I don't really care. I'm just overthinking it for fun. But it doesn't make any sense. I understand the ghost disappearing when the light comes on, but why does that ball and chain? Why does that ball and chain disappear? It does though. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end now. I think we got this cool water sequence, which pissed me off the first time I played it. Oh, we still got this part. This is basically Quackshot Jr. It really is. This is Quackshot Jr. If you like Quackshot, you're going to love this game. It's not as good as Quackshot. It's not, but it's fucking awesome. And it honestly feels like Quackshot 2 or Quackshot Jr. I say Junior because it was a Game Gear game and a Master System game. And let's face it, 8-bit is not as good as 16-bit. So it's the junior version of Quackshot.
Didn't care for that hit, but hey.
Yeah, that was kind of 2 to the left. Doesn't matter, we're at the end anyhow. But still, I think it was the first time I ever got hit there. Okay, so this part's tricky. The bats are really annoying. And because it's a motion level, the controls are now a little bit more fluent. So I actually almost jumped off into the water right there. That's a perfectly timed jump. So it's one of those boss sequence levels that moves a lot slower and is designed a lot different. So yeah, you're going to want to drop down there or else you're going to go to a means to no end. You're going to reach an end that just instantly kills you. There's no way to win if you go up top. Again, look how nice that looks. It just really looks, it deserves the praise. It really does. Like, if anyone's to talk about best looking 8-bit games, this game has to be on their list. It just has to be. Otherwise, they just are not aware of the game. They're plain and simple. Oh yeah, I like the animation Donald Duck does there. You can't see me tapping my foot, but he has like that. He's like tapping his foot. I always love when games did that, whether it was like Sonic doing his thing or any characters. Earthworm
good
Jim
stuff.
doing what he did, Vector Man juggling his own balls. You know, you leave your character in a stationary
Definitely a few hard
spot.
spots in the game, and the hardest one lies
Yes,
ahead.
the hardest one lies ahead. All doom is for pending and waiting. I've NDR'd way harder games, but doom awaits. But here's the thing, the reason I say that, and the reason I am a little bit nervous going into this, is because this boss is actually quite fucking difficult. It's not hard to beat, but it's hard to do in one try. And the thing is I'm now like 30 minutes into the fucking run, and it's like to come here and die is like, it's almost like just dumb, right? It's like, why not just say fuck it and do a one death in that case? Yeah, in that case I would agree, because it's like, yeah, to replay it all over again just because he bested you once is kind of lame, but he's that good. And this opening part has a lot of RNG between those two different attacks. The one where he creates a block that you can hit him with, and the other where he just shoots these little fireballs down. And his movement is very quick, and it's very hard to judge when he's going to stop. Typically, he'll stop when you're remaining still. And then it's just RNG to what he's going to do. Sometimes he'll just cast those fireballs down, and it's like, dude, give me a normal attack. Drop a block. Also, you don't necessarily want to rush over to a block when he drops it, because then he'll come over and shoot you, and you won't be able to kick a block at him. But I did that part perfect. A-okay, everything's going great. This part annoys the shit out of me, because jumping on this guy, there's a very short window. It's a lot like Land of Illusion and Castle of Illusion as well for Master System, where landing the hit, he's only available to be hit for a very, very short time, and you must jump at the precise moment. Not too early, you get hit by the fireball, do it too late, and you're falling through him and not landing a hit. It's irritating as fuck. But I'm going to say thanks for watching my No Death Run, guys, of Deep Duck Trouble, because we're almost done here, and I'll leave Gaming Steve to share his thoughts, which are things I've already talked about, but you know, there's always that thrill and fun when completing a whole new game deathless. But yeah, great game. Play it if you haven't. And with that being said, guys, peace out. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you're a regular, leave a comment and tell me if you think this game's cool or not.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that end boss is tricky, man. It is. Maybe it looks easy. It is not. It is not. The first world valley, which I chose to do first because it's hard, is a tough little level. But because you can do it first means you can play it often. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. The volcano has a few tricky spots, but nothing to really kind of make you fucking frustrated or nervous about the run. This truly comes down to the last level, jumping over those water pits. Tricky, but more that horrible end boss. I'm sure Commentary Steve has explained how much I love this game, but the end boss's RNG is very annoying, and you just kind of have to play it for yourself to discover it. I obviously had a bit of a system and a bit of a pattern, but even a system or a pattern isn't foolproof with that boss.
Talk to you later, guys.
His RNG and his attacks, the timing of hitting him when that fire spins around, is all actually very fucking difficult. Outside of that, the game is quite easy. Definitely some challenging spots throughout the game. But man oh man, that boss is anything but easy. It's not brutally hard or anything, but my god, just like Land of Illusion, executing it and putting it all together makes it a pretty damn tough NDR. And just like Land of Illusion, this game is fucking fantastic. Its controls are definitely kind of shit, but they are good enough not to ruin the game. But boy, they are sluggish and slow. But the game overall is superb, with possibly the best graphics I've ever seen on an 8-bit game ever. Thank you for watching my no death run of Deep Duck Trouble for the Sega Master System.